of them with their living room.
Hello, everyone. Tracy Huff here, the confidence coach, with another one of the amazing ladies that I get to know. This is Casey Ferris, and Casey was introduced to me through another amazing woman that you will hear from. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to do this for me. I haven't asked her yet. And she introduced me to Casey because I needed some help with doing some networking, and I have just the pleasure, not only the knowledge of her marketing, but the way that she handles herself and all of her roles as a business owner, mother, and president of the Hope Mills Chamber. It has just been so wonderful to know her. So we're going to start off with the first question I've been asking everybody is, what is confidence? Like, what is a confidence myth that you see?
So I think a lot of people will throw out that success equals confidence or confidence equals success. So what I mean by that is, oh, look at her, she's so confident, she must be successful. Or on the other side of that coin, oh, look at her, she's so successful, she must be super confident. Those don't always go hand in hand. And even the most successful person will have hits to their confidence on a regular basis. And even the most confident person may not be able to translate that into success. So that's my myth that I'd like to bust today.
All right, well, let's bust it out. So tell me the story of you where you busted it out in your personal life.
So this is me overcoming confidence issues.
Yeah. Like overcoming the confidence and embracing the fact that you can be successful and still have to go cry in a snivel. I personally have a sniveling chair. If you've ever been in my office in the karate school, you've probably sat in the sniveling chair, right? So like, talk about those moments. So talk about those moments.
When I first became president of the Hope Mills Chamber, it was one of those, it fell into my lap. Right? I was vice president because of my marketing knowledge. And when I took over and I was sitting down and looking at everything, that was definitely, I did not have any confidence at that moment. And then moving forward with stepping into this role, my confidence was flagged repeatedly, and it still is on a regular basis. I had this whole persona in my head of who I needed to be, of the person that you typically picture when you picture the president of the Chamber of Commerce. And it is not a 35-year-old, slightly hippie, nerdy millennial, which is me, with, unfortunately, the mouth of a sailor at times. So I had a really hard time with trying to be this person, trying to fit this mold, fit this image of who I thought the president of the Chamber of Commerce needed to be, how I thought they needed to act, how I thought they needed to present themselves in the community. And there were a lot of things that I did or didn't do because, well, that's what the previous president had done. And it took me a while, I'd say like a solid year.
Let's go back real quick. So was it were you putting those expectations on yourself, or were you getting feedback that were making you feel, because I know sometimes I am too much me for some people. I just call that being self-aware, right? That's just me being self-aware and reading the room. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be me, but sometimes I do kind of have to dial it down. What was that, what it was? Or like, how did
it was probably a combination of both. Okay. It was me having met other Chamber of Commerce presidents that were very professional and had made a lot of money with their businesses and had a lot of awards and accolades on their resumes, right? And spoke and acted and conducted themselves a certain way, which was not me. Okay. And then there was also the feedback from some of the business members who were more comfortable with that type of a president, who that's what they wanted. Okay. And so it was definitely a little bit from both sides. And there was a lot, I think, more of even just the drastic difference from the previous president to me, I think was like a bucket of ice water on people. Or maybe not ice water, because like, right, like maybe warm, fuzzy water, but
Okay. Yeah.
hopefully.
Okay.
But I think it was just very different.
Okay. So then at what point, you said it took you a minute. So at what point did you finally like feel like you could own being the president and still be you?
I feel like it probably took me 18 months, honestly. So like there was a 6-month period where I was interim president. And then we had the elections in April. And for that whole first year, I would say, honestly, I spent a lot of my time trying to be someone else and trying to portray this image that was what I thought everybody wanted. What I thought I should be, what people had wanted, what we'd had in the past.
Okay.
And it really was a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I am so tired and exhausted of pretending to be someone I'm not, and feeling like I have this mask and this persona and all of these super high expectations that are put on me. The president of the Chamber of Commerce for Hope Mills is a 100% volunteer position. So I donate my time to this, and it's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time, energy, effort, and
yes,
yeah.
And I got that position because of how I had been leading up to that point, not because, everybody thought that I would look good in a designer suit. Okay. So I think it took me wrapping my head around that and realizing that when I'm just me, and I'm not trying to, now don't get me wrong, I do still have to follow an agenda or I'll be completely in left field.
I think there's like a difference between just like growing in a position and showing up as your authentic self versus doing a position trying to be someone else. Like that is exhausting. Yeah. Kind of just finding the balance between what that is. And then self-aware, right? Just becoming self-aware.
Well, and what we're talking about today, there was a lot of, I needed to gain more confidence that Casey was fine.
Yeah.
Casey was good enough. I didn't need to be someone else. These people had voted for Casey. These people picked Casey. Yeah. It wasn't previous presidents. And they wanted me because of the things that I had tried to do and the changes that I had tried to make.
Right.
So,
okay.
But, and it was really when I started doing all of the quirky things that make me, like turning everything into karaoke and theming our golf tournament Star Wars. People really started to get excited and come out.
And that's the thing, right? As a marketing expert, like that's the thing we all need to do in our marketing, because otherwise we look exactly like our competitors, but we all struggle with showing up that way. Isn't that crazy?
It is. And I still have a really hard time with it. Like this morning at breakfast, I had this list of things I had to do and things I had to talk about. And I always feel like I'm just all over the place and I'm not very put together and I'm kind of like rambling and I'm like, oh yeah, and we have this and this and this. But then when I kind of get off on a tangent and I start talking about how much the businesses mean to me and what an amazing network we have, or the awesome marketing partnership we're going to be doing with the police department, is when it really starts to flow and people really start to nod and get engaged and get that warm fuzzy.
Right.
Because I'm just being me.
Yeah. All right. So for someone that might be in the same position, what would you tell them to do to start owning the position as their authentic self? Like, what would be the first step? Like, what should they do? Like, if they're exhausted from trying to be something they're not, right? And we all have been there. Yeah. What would you tell them? Well, like, what's the first baby step?
I like to make lists. So I would definitely like journal. I would journal it out and I would sit down and I would think about it from a marketing point of view, right? Because what's your niche? What do you have that nobody else has?
Mhm.
And make a list. I don't care how minute those things might be. Those are all things that you can compile together that set you apart and will potentially help you gain your confidence.
Right. Excellent. All right. And then why should people come to the confidence complex?
I cannot walk into a room with Tracy Huff in it without cheering happening. I can't make an announcement, talk about my class, or tell you guys about an award without the Tracy Huff confidence section in the background and pumping me up. I have meltdowns, I have breakdowns, I have completely confusing, I don't know what to do with my life. By the way, Tracy, we're gonna have to talk about it.
Mhm.
Moments. And because I am conveniently, I'm her friend on Facebook. I've got her cell phone number. It's like a quick message, and I'm like, Tracy. But even having that relationship has done so much for boosting my confidence and my self-esteem. It's like she calls herself, she's your woo girl. You have your very own cheering section. That has done wonders for my business and several of the other businesses that have partnered with her. And there's also the fact that you are so dedicated to going above and beyond and partnering with all of the other women in businesses in this community and helping lift them up and elevate them and help them get their confidence. And I've seen it on a firsthand basis. So everyone else should come and see it for themselves.
And just meet us and join us and let us work together. That is the vision of the confidence complex, is to collaborate more effectively and be that for each other. I'll celebrate anything, because we got to focus on the good. And so I personally invite you to come join us. We're making it a grand opening weekend. We've got the business people on Friday, the families on Saturday, and then I'm going to rest on Sunday. Right? Just maybe one day, maybe 2 days. But join us. It's July 7th and 8th. Go to the Hope Mills Chamber website. You'll see Facebook page for the Facebook event, because they're going to do our ribbon cutting. We're going to do board breaking / ribbon cutting. We're going to make it our own. And we're just going to have a good time, having fun, being ourselves around some great people. So thanks, Casey. And we can't wait to meet you guys.